according to the list. And there's nothing wrong with it. That doesn't mean we're not valuable. That doesn't mean that we're not incredibly valued. He's talking about something that most of us don't know, don't understand, will never be, can never be. But this whole notion, this bastardization of the high value man has perverted. I said this to my guests before we went live. Black people, we wake up every fucking day and we go out of our way to try to figure out another reason not to be together. Another goddamn reason not to be together. Every day we wake up trying to find another fucking reason not to be together. It is crazy. It is sick work what we do to ourselves. It is absolute sick work. Shout out to 1,000 Watts Radio for the $5 super sticker. He wants his jiggle. He wants his BBL jiggle. He wants his $5 BBL jiggle. And who am I to deprive the masses? Who am I to deprive the supporters? Here we go. That's our jiggle, baby. You're jiggling, baby. So let me break down real quickly, because we're about to get to our guest, my lovely, lovely guest, who I adore. Even though she says she ain't my friend, I still adore her. Listen, when Kevin talked about high value, Kevin Samuels made it clear that value comes from multiple aspects of a man's life, not just his bank account. But this was a barrier to entry, meaning you start that process of being a high value at this dollar mark. And if you actually want to adjust it up now, it's actually about $250 now. I know the $100,000, but it's actually, if you want to make a market adjustment, that $100,000 is based on what women said that they felt was a man with a lot of money. And this was back in the 70s. That dollar amount, that $100,000, that actually came from women. Women set that value term, that dollar amount term, back in the 70s. But if you adjust it to today's money, we're talking about $250,000, $300,000. That's where we're at today. You know, so, but that baseline, that's an entry to barrier. That's the first step of qualification. And 90% of men do not earn that. So 90% of men don't qualify on step one. Step two, he talking about you got to be consistent, meaning you got to be productive year over year over year over year, not just a one-shot deal. It's got to be a yearly, 5-year, 6-year consistent level of production. That's why he talked about that. So one, the entry to barrier is the money, because the money represents your production. Two, you have to be productive year over year. So 1 and 2 go together. You can't have 1 without 2. You can't have 2 without 1. Number 3, you got to be useful to. You got to be useful to the group. Not to the group. You got to be useful.